we go. Now we're working. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to last year's weather coverage here in Black Sheep Weather. I'm meteorologist John Lamb, taking a look at a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued, and you can see we have a new business discussion on this. So it's been about an hour.
New
Well, I'm not expecting
information. This
winds
severe
over
thunderstorm
60,
warning
but
has been
the main threat
updated.
tonight is hail, and large hail could be on the cards. Excuse me. This is going to be on the severe thunderstorm warning we're looking at up here by 18 and Brainerd. That's going to head towards Farm Island and Glen. Eventually, that will move down towards Ascove and Sandstone. If it holds together, could make it as far as Hayward and Shell Lake, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold together that long. Taking a look further down the line, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning up here in western Stearns County. That storm was producing 1 inch hail just back inside the Bow County line. Of course, that storm will be moving towards El Rosa, and then eventually, if it holds together, Roscoe and Painesville will be in the path of this one. Farther to the south, in Meeker County, we have a storm near Manana, which is going to be moving down towards Forest City, Gaslamp, Cokato. And then on the bottom of our line that we're looking at is the storm down here in Riddle County and Brown County. And these storms have been consistently producing 1 3/4 inch hail for a while now. This warning does have a tornado possible tag on it, so that is something we will definitely be keeping an eye on here tonight. And if you're looking at our flash flood count and you're seeing that one and you're wondering why, it's because there's a flash flood warning to the south and west of Sioux Falls, along with a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell that is moving south and east of Parker, South Dakota. Eventually will move into northwest Iowa. It could clip the far southwest corner of Minnesota here. So Inwood, Larchwood, Rock Rapids, you could see a bit of this storm, but I would not be surprised if it completely misses Minnesota. Excuse me. And my voice is still not 100%, so I apologize. There are more cells going to move over the boundary waters. It's starting to get a lot of lightning as I look at it up here. Looking at from the Duluth radar state, so getting a bit distant. I'm going to actually change over to the Schneider radar from Environment Canada and climate change. Yeah, there's a lot of lightning with this storm. That is not, I mean, there's a lot of heavy rain with it, but still, we don't need any more lightning strikes up in that area. Coming back down here to the Twin Cities radar site. This storm up here by Brainerd, I will not be surprised. Brainerd, you're about to get hit with a severe thunder. Well, they're not calling it a severe thunderstorm at this time, but I would not be surprised if it got upgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning on that one. But right now, it's the main cells over by Aiken, between Aiken and Farm Island on 169. That little cluster, as I had said before, is going to move over Aiken County. Eventually, it will move into the north part of Pine County. It could move into extreme portions of northern Mille Lacs County and northern Kennebec County. I'll have to wait and see if the storm decides to take a move to the southeast or if the storm over Brainerd continues to strengthen. We may see warnings come down even in Morrison County. Our storm south of Stock Center. The storm here by Litchfield is starting to look more organized than it was just a little bit ago. The storm is still seeing 60 mile an hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. I'm going to take a look at the rotation on that one because that storm has got my attention now. Yeah, just a bit of rotation here south of Manana and west of Forest City. So if you're looking from Grove City, looking to your northeast, you would be able to see right into the barricade of that storm if there was a tornado there. Right now, it's still just a good thunderstorm warning, but there is definitely some rotation starting to set up there. And taking a look, this is our storm that has a tornado possible tag on top of Wanda and Lamberton. It's moving towards Springfield. This is all Minnesota. So this is coming out of Redwood County, will move into Brown County. Could clip the extreme northern part of Freeborn County here, but I'd be surprised. It may just move, and it might even miss St. James. It could hit Delia instead. It's kind of right through there. Excuse me. And I'm going to take a quick breather here real quick. If I could type it would help. There we go. Okay. And for whatever reason, I cannot find a shortcut for this here. There we are. If Instagram requires that I throw in, but not everything I do. So, do I have anything fitting appropriate at the moment? No, I don't. Okay. It's driving me nuts enough to do this. Here's how I gotta get something quick to throw in here that will work for this. My guess is no. There. Let's go kick it back. There. Instagram, you can like what I'm doing. Okay, sorry about that. Just want to make sure everybody was aware that we are streaming live for this. Ooh,
Attention, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
All right, we have a new thunderstorm warning now, and that is I did 3 warnings. It's actually Cottonwood County down here in Mountain Lake. And that is a National Weather Service in Sioux Falls. I wondered why there was a little dig there, a little corner dug out there. That explains it. We're in a boundary between 2 weather service offices. Still taking a look at the storm up here by Litchfield, northern west of Litchfield. Okay, yeah, storm relative isn't nearly as impressive. Rod's not there, yeah. Well, it looks like the storm might be trying to pull a handoff. And the storm up here by Padua moving towards El Rosa, that storm is looking like it's starting to weaken some. Put the radar back for an hour. You can see much stronger cell up there by Alexandria. And as it comes in, clips Polk County, gets into Stearns County, it just suddenly starts to lose its steam. So I don't know if we're going to get an extension of this morning for areas in central and south central Stearns County. To be surprised. Will not be surprised at all when they clear south central Stearns County out of this warning. It's in Meeker County as well. But as we look at this, our primary storms that we're watching are storms north of Litchfield and storms northwest of Springfield. Excuse me, we will have to watch the storms up here in 18 County, back into Crow Wing County, see if those move into our area that could clip Mille Lacs, back and Pine counties. And yes, I'm struggling with county names for some reason today. I don't know why. Okay, I apologize. I've got a few things in mode that they should not be in. It's causing me all kinds of headaches right now. So let me just quick there. There we go. That's better. I had everything set up so I could move things around and tweak a little bit and forgot to lock it down. So that's why you suddenly saw things move on the live stream that should not have moved. Right now, we have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings on board. That is our storm up here by Aiken, and like I said, I'm waiting for this by Brainerd. Just from the look of it to get a severe thunderstorm warning. That storm is developing quite the hail core right over Brainerd, really. I mean, that's going to pass right over Meadowview Manor, the Eastgate Mobile Home Park, up towards Lazy Acres. It's going to pass just to the south and east, or south and west rather, of the airport. If you're on the east side of Brainerd, I mean, anywhere, if you're on the east side of 371 to Baxter, you're getting some rain and some storms, but you're not getting anything close to the hail core that's passing directly over Brainerd. And then we've got the scattered activity that runs all the way through Crosby up to 210 towards Aiken, cuts across towards Garrison, and that'll cross over. There we go.
Attention, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
So I'll have to watch these storms. That storm by Brainerd, as it moves over, could very much hit the northern half, could clip Morrison County here eventually, then going down Black's County down towards, that's going to come a little closer down towards Mora. So that would be into more Fayette County down. So that part of the Pine would even clip, I think, Chisago counties if it makes it that far. Again, our severe thunderstorm warning out here for Stern County that I expect to be dropped here anytime. Because there's a possible tag on if that storm has really weakened over the last little bit here. And then the storm has been producing the motail, and I haven't seen anything since this report here, which was a train spotter reporting 1.5 to 1 3/4 tail that was measured by train spotter, and that was out of Wabasso. Well, that storm has gotten a bit of a southerly drift to it. I'm going to put this in motion. I apologize for pulling things into the field there. Come on, drop it. Thank you. So you can see this all moving, and all of a sudden it takes a turn, and it's starting to move a little bit more to the south and east. So if I'm in Lamberton, Sanborn, Comfrey, down towards Darfur, Mountain Lake, and Jeffers, I would be watching this cell quite a bit. So I'm healing it, looking at this storm. Actually, we're looking at this from the Duluth radar. So, you know, let's start from Minneapolis right over there. There's that storm. And there's that hail core kind of strung out there. Got more storms developing behind it over Marshall, another one southwest of Tracy. And I'm also looking at this little blip that has bubbled up here. It's between Rogers and Corcoran in northern Hennepin County. That's another one that's going to have to be watched because these storms are sitting in a very, very prime environment for getting in some serious storm coverage here. Bear with me here. I'm going to adjust things a little bit. The camera has decided it's not going to be my friend tonight, so it's also not really doing what I want it to do either. But that's a whole separate issue. Turn that back on. There we go. Hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go. Whew, scared the crap out of myself. Wait, what the? I'm gonna figure something out here. Some stuff going on in here. That's that. Okay, there we go. Okay, never mind. Just ignore me, folks. Okay. So, that's the thing there. See if I can do this. There we go. That's better. I was kind of looking at myself a bit off tiny over here. Alright, so let me relock that real quick. There we go. Be interested to see if National Weather Service delays winds up issuing a warning on this storm up here. North and east of Floydwood, up north and west of Grand Lake, south of the Iron Range, south of, right along 53 really, between Duluth and Eveleth. More storms to the north of the North Front up here across the Boundary Waters. And those stretch away from Ely all the way down to the North Shore. The strongest storm being wrapped around Ely really, and then heading down on Highway 1. Take a look at the big picture here. Thunderstorm warnings down by Sioux Falls have been dropped. Looks like the largest hail recorded was Penny Site, and that is right on the borderline of a severe thunderstorm warning. Bit of a flash flood warning down here as well. So areas around Parker to T. Whatever indicated flash flooding there, so there's a flash flood warning. Otherwise, I don't think activity is really up here in Minnesota. Excuse me, which is where I start thunderstorm watches. That's that Pink County outline. The oval shape of the square bottom here, that is a regional discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. That will expire here in the next few minutes. I believe it is going to expire in 36. So it'll expire here at 36. Huh? That's weird. Okay, until 15 after. Never mind, I can't do that. That's what it was. So that discussion is valid until 9:15. I can actually turn that off. It's going to clear in a little bit here.
Attention, a new radar
we have
indicated
traveling
tornado
now
warning
for
has been issued.
Litchfield. So, areas just to the north and west of Litchfield, Forest City, Litchfield, Dassel, you are now under a radar indicated tornado warning. has an effect for 35 more minutes. That storm is currently located 5 miles north of Litchfield, or 22 miles north of Hutchinson, moving southeast to 25. And this is a radar indicated tornado. It is a tornado warning, so we want to make sure we are taking our action plan seriously and putting it into motion. Want to make sure you are in an interior space of your home if you don't have a basement. Make sure your head is protected if you have a sports helmet of some sort. Make sure you've got that on your head. Excuse me. Make sure you're wearing shoes, not Crocs, not sandals, but actual shoes. Because if something does happen and there is actually a tornado or wind damage or whatever, and you have to crawl through debris to get to where you need to be, you don't want to do that barefoot. So there's that. And obviously you want to be in the basement if you don't have the basement. Interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And as I say that, I'm watching this, looking at the cell. It's right here. It's this little pocket right in here. You guys can't see because the mouse is up there. Why is not showing the mouse? Interesting. That is just north of Litchfield there.
Attention, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Okay, and that's new severe thunderstorm warning. That's south of Sioux Falls down here. We're not going to worry about that one. And so, also watching this little cell, it's popping up. What about Maple Grove? That one's going to have to be watched. It's out in front of everything else. Right now, we're going to focus on Litchfield, Stearns County. Excuse me, if you're up somewhere along the line of farming over towards Belgrade, Roscoe, Paynesville, you've got a giant thunderstorm coming at you. That warning will likely be allowed to expire. So we'll do have first thunderstorm warnings up here for Aiken and Brainerd. Those are going to eventually move into areas of Morrison, Mille Lacs, Quebec, and Pine counties. We'll worry about that when it happens. Oh, we have another storm forming up here by, where is that? There it is. Over by Barron. We'll watch that one too. Kind of pleasant. How is this still moving? There. Okay, now I can do that safely. It's going to be one of the nights, I can tell. All right, so what's going on? Not a lot. Oh, actually, there's a lot going on. So we're going to zoom out on this storm up here by Litchfield, and that's going to be our big concern right now is the storm by Litchfield. Well, let's go look at this and see what it's doing in terms of winds. So we're looking at this area right in here. Excuse me. North Highway 12 between Manana and Highway 12 if you're going due south. So that's going to be in the area right to the west of Meeker County 31 and Highway 12 to the northwest of that intersection. And not a strong tornado signature on this yet. We'd love to keep it that way, thank you. Well, that is what we're currently looking at. It's our one tornado warning. Look at this in terms of storm relative. Yeah, right. Okay. Right in here. Right where it said. So, Grove City and Manana, Crow River, you're out of this. You're okay. Areas towards Litchfield, out towards Darwin, following Highway 12 is where this storm's going to mostly move. It's going to move just to the north of Highway 12. So it could move over parts of Litchfield and then follow Highway 12. So Darwin and Dassel are going to be the next in line for this. If you're south of County Road 11, you want to make sure you're watching this storm. If you're south of County Road 21 or 20, well, 21, you should be okay. 24 is that curve back towards Darwin. We don't want to rule you guys out yet. There's three of those warning for the northern part of the storm too, that is producing hail. And that's what's left of our storm up here in Stearns County. Yeah, there's nothing really left. Storm right here by Springfield, I think that's going to move more towards Mountain Lake versus St. James. It's kind of got the southeasterly move on it. Another storm down here in northwest of Pipestone, or northeast of Pipestone rather. Some storms developing around Marshall. Still watching that storm. Try and get its act together up here on Maple Grove. If it grows, it could eventually become severe. Likely that would happen in Wisconsin, not here in Minnesota. Alright, so to look at all of this, what do we have? We have strong storms in the boundary waters moving up. Those will eventually move up into Canada. Probably will not get to Grand Marais. It areas inland across the Gunflint Trail in Cook County. You'll be wanting to watch those storms. Another cell just to the north and west of Duluth on 53, producing some nice lightning. That storm looks like it might actually have some rotation. Let me switch radar sets real quick. I am on Duluth. Yeah, this took a bit of a rotation on out here by Kelsey. So areas west of Cotton, Tovla, you're okay. Elmore, to your north, going across 53 in the Cloquet Valley State Forest. That's the area I would be watching. The storms down here, we have a pocket of broad rotation by Glen, another little pocket northwest of Malmo, and I see that Duluth let that warning expire. Still have a warning over here for Brainerd in Crow County. And let's go back to our storm down here in Litchfield. Switch over to the Minneapolis radar. It's kind of an area of broad rotation here. It's definitely trying to come together. We'll have to watch this like a hawk. But that is the biggest storm we're worrying about right now. Let's switch back over to regular reflectivity. Our storm down here in, excuse me, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, y'all. Our storm down here in Redwood, Brown counties into Cottonwood County, that storm is really just kind of parking itself at the moment. You can see one part of it here, it kind of develops backwards Wabasso. And it's slowly weakening actually. So this may be good news for St. James. The storm may actually give up and not hit St. James. Still watching the storm up here by Litchfield. That is our trouble at the moment. It's got that influence right here. You guys can't see my mouse. This is bugging me. I don't know why it's not showing the mouse. Let's see if I can get it to let me do it. Bear with me here. Okay. Fiddles. Okay. There's probably a way to do it, and I'm just not seeing it, so I'm not going to fight with it at the moment. But what we're really looking at is right here, northwest of Litchfield. You can see this notch. And that notch is where the rotation is the strongest. You can see, I mean, it's really starting to take on a supercell shape. It's messy, but it does look like a supercell, and that is really kind of concerning here. So let's take a look at this velocity mode. Let's pull this off to the center so we can get a good look at it. So where the notches is right in here. And so you've got inflow in the green here. Going away here in the red. What we're looking at is right in here, just to the west of Forest City, to the southeast of Nana, and northwest of Litchfield. So, oh yeah, that's definitely starting to strengthen up here. North Litchfield, if you are in north side of Litchfield, over and moving down towards Darwin and Dassel along Highway 12, you want to be taking this tornado warning seriously. The rotation is starting to tighten up on this storm. It is going to pass, I believe, just to the north of Litchfield. Let's not take that chance. There are a few mobile home parks around Litchfield, so let's make sure that we are taking our precautions. We're going to be in our interior room or in the basement. There's many walls between you and the outside if possible. You want to make sure that you have head protection. So if you have a bike helmet or a hockey helmet, something like that, or your kids do, make sure everybody's got their helmets on if you get going quick. Otherwise, you want to make sure you're wearing shoes, because if there is a tornado in this, or you have to crawl through debris to get out of the structure, or a tree falls in your home, something like that, and you need to get out, you want to make sure you have foot protection, because climbing across 2x4s and things with nails and stuff is not something you just want to do barefoot. So we're going to keep watching. It's going to zoom right in on this storm up here with Litchfield. We're really watching this area just to the west of Highway 12, or just north of Highway 12, just to the west of Highway 22, almost due west of Forest City by a couple of miles. take a look at this in a slightly different view. Yeah, right here. I'm really watching this. Uh-oh. No, it didn't. Ah, fudge. Okay, y'all. Bear with. I gotta kill the radar and bring it back. It has started to become temperamental of late. I don't know why it's doing it, but it is. But it's annoying as hell. Okay, so let me grab and get back up here. Okay. We got a new scan and I was looking at it here. Okay, let me throw this up so you guys can see it too. Properties, selector.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay, we've updated this thunderstorm warning somewhere. Okay, here we go. And we are back live. Okay, sorry about that. Still watching this area up here north of Litchfield. And that's the thunderstorm warning that was updated as the storm up here in Crow County. Still 1 inch on 60-mile-an-hour winds, radar indicated. That storm is over Brainerd, moving southeast at 15. So yeah, we've got some fast-moving storms here to contend with. So our storm over here by Barron, that is actually starting to get organized. It's a very long linear shape to these storms down here. South Redwood falls over towards Marshall. Well, they're actually moving a bit to the northeast, which is an interesting twist. So let's take a look. Velocity is going to lag. It always does. But here's that area of rotation between County Road 22, or between Minnesota 22 rather, and County Road 31. So right now it's going to be passing over Minnesota 22, moving towards Beaver County 34. Going to pass between Litchfield and Forest City. And that, based on the movement that we've been seeing, based on the track that we're seeing, that's going to come uncomfortably close to Darwin. And it looks like it might go just out of Dassel. Let's not take that chance. Dassel, Darwin, Forest City, and even Kingston. Play it safe. Let's put our action plan into movement. In motion, rather. Good grief, into movement. Okay. So we want to make sure our head protected, our feet protected, so helmets, if you can, get indoors, obviously. Make sure you got shoes or boots on, not Crocs, not sandals, but actual shoes or boots.
New information.
Update
This tornado warning has been
Still radar
updated.
indicated. Let's see what the weather service says about this. We're just going to tornado over Litchfield. So they're looking at this area here. Okay. I'm looking at what they're looking at. I'm looking at the radar image. Okay, so they're looking right in here. I'm looking back up over here. I still think it's up a little bit further north than over Litchfield, but it's going to be dang close. And this is live weather coverage, folks. I apologize if I suddenly do drop a swear word in here. I have a pretty good broadcast sense from having done radio for a long time that you don't swear, but every once in a while something happens where it's, oh, flood, and it becomes very obvious that something more substantial has happened. Okay. There we are. All right. Okay. We'll take a quick breather here. Wait for the next update on this data. I really am not liking the look of this. Either this area of Litchfield or the area farther north. Either one. It's going to reflectivity that will actually tell me a lot more. Yeah, it's the area over Litchfield. It's no. Oof. Okay. So, looking at reflectivity, remember the velocity data behind, and that's, I fall into an old trap, which is watching the reflectivity, not watching the reflectivity, but watching the velocity data, which tracks behind. So, looking at Litchfield, at that nice little inflow notch right here. So, 22, 24 come into Highway 12. That area moving south and east, so that's going to move. It's going to clip County 34 here in a second, County 11. Eventually, it's going to move out towards Darwin and Dassel. So, areas to the north of Highway 12, you are in the danger zone right now. So, if we've got a updated reflectivity on this. We do. Yeah, it's a really broad rotation for Litchfield. You can see right there. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm watching straight over Litchfield, which the Weather Service is watching as well. But I'm also just keeping an eyeball here on Highway 22. It's been an area that's been a little sus here for a little bit. Quick big picture view. Let's switch over to reflectivity. More storms up here between Marshall and Redwood Falls along Minnesota 19 to the east of Highway 59. There's also South Tracy, northeast of Slayton. Yeah, we have our thunderstorm, warm storm. But it's just missing Springfield. It's going over, it has gone over Sanborn, really, and heading towards Comfrey and Darfur eventually. If it continues on this path, it will hit St. James. But the worst, it looks like it would go just to the south and west of St. James. Okay. Let's go back up here to Meeker County. That is our highlight right now. Yeah, that knock over Litchfield is getting more pronounced, and I'm not liking the look of this on radar at all. It's marginal conditions for a tornado, but the tornado risk is definitely there. Not want to look at that product. I want to look at that product. Yeah, still showing over Litchfield. Okay. I want to not put this in motion, but I want to put this in motion briefly. Just want to pass. Here comes our storm and our mess. Oh yeah, that's just messy. Okay. We use the breed detector product just to see what was out there. See if there's anything that looked suspicious, which thankfully there's not. Quick look, see if we have an update. Storm Prediction Center has cleared a little bit of the north part. So from roughly Hibbing to Ely, or Brainerd, 30 miles northwest of Brainerd to 15 miles west-northwest of Hibbing, 20 miles southeast of Ely, you are out of Watch Storm Prediction Center. It's cleared that area. We're looking at this area up here. So really we're looking at Itasca County, northern St. Louis, and that area being cleared from the watch. Still there's a thunderstorm warning up here for areas around Brainerd, to the southeast of Brainerd. That's eventually going to move into areas south of Namia. Looks like we're going to get a miss on the worst part of this storm hitting Lake Mille Lacs. However, we do still have the center over Malmo that's moving towards McGrath, and eventually the storm that's over just north of Garrison is going to cross the lake, as is the cell up here by Bay Lake. Currently, the only severe thunderstorm warning though is this cell. Excuse me, by Shepherd, Minnesota, south and east of Brainerd. A couple more cells, one south of Nisswa, one by Pine River, and one to the north of Aiken along 169. That's going to be south of Hill City and north of Wakanabo. Let's go back to our tornado warning here. That radar presentation just becomes more and more concerning every time I look at it. Oh, it locked me in? What the fudge? Okay. We're gonna work with this. We're gonna do this old fashioned way. Okay. What? What do you mean it's not there? There we go. Okay. Why on earth? I'm gonna switch this over to the right radar. Bear with me here. We're gonna dive a little deeper into this storm. There it is. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Switch product there. Okay. Radar. Which velocity mode is that? Okay. I forget that this uses a slightly different color code. So what we're looking at here, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Sorry about that. We'll switch programs here, and I kind of apologize for this, but I kind of don't. So what we're looking at here is, excuse me, called supercell weather, which they also use for things like this. So this is a multi-view, and what we're looking at here is the storm. I'll bring it down here a little bit better so you can see it better. Is the storm that's hooked right over Litchfield, just to the east of Litchfield. Still tornado warning. I'm going to move this a little bit further to the east. Yeah, a bit of a rotation right here along Highway 12. Another weak area up here north of Litchfield. If we look here, curious placement of that. I know it's one of those where I'm looking at it. I know it's contamination, but boy, the placement of that is unnerving. So what I'm looking at is the area right here by Litchfield, just to the east of the little inflow notch. Down here in the lower right, you can see the correlation coefficient or debris detector, that dark blue plunging in that inflow. A little unnerving because that would indicate a very, very low correlation coefficient, which would also be a very high debris detection.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay, we still have our thunderstorm warning for Crow Wing County. Zoom way out here. Now just for this area up here by Brainerd. And the latest update on that is the storm is over south along Lake, moving southeast at 15 quarters I sail, 60 mile an hour winds possible. No tornado possible tag on that storm. We'll go back here to our storm near Litchfield. Boy, you're only looking at one product, you can get spooked on this. So north and east of Litchfield, south of Forest City. I need to look at this. Okay, sorry, I had to compose myself there for a second. I'm getting very, very concerned about this cell of Litchfield. The rotation, if it's there, it's going to be just to the south of Forest City. Okay, good, that went away. There was a bit of a drop all by itself in the debris detection right in here. Well, it's north of Litchfield. It jumped in this frame and went a little bit farther east and kind of merged back into that area. But, boy, makes me wonder if we didn't just have a brief touchdown. Let's go peek at this. Open up the other radar program here, just so I can get a different view of it myself. I'm looking at it. I can dig more into pieces I'm going to look at here without diving you guys too far into it. So I know sometimes I get really complicated with what I'm talking about, and I start diving into the weeds of meteorology. Boy, that storm is just a classic supercell, though. Litchfield, you're getting the worst of it right now. Areas toward the 19, the American, the Walmart Supercenter along Highway 12, heading down towards Darwin. You're in the bullseye right now for the worst weather. So it's going to go north of Litchfield Airport, north of Evergreen Mobile Home Park, north of Lake Ripley County Park. But it's this area right here along Highway 12, and I wish that it was in a slightly different spot. But right now, if you're in the Litchfield area down towards Darwin, Casey, Dassel, and anywhere along Highway 12 there, you want to be taking your tornado precautions and take this seriously. The storm is rotating.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
And so we wouldn't be taking this very seriously. This storm is looking quite vicious, actually. Let's see if I can pull this up a different way. Yeah, we're getting another area of rotation. Looks like just to the north of Litchfield, yeah. Okay. So what I'm looking at, we'll zoom way in. So here's Litchfield. If you can see that, I'm going to throw in a line, it's hard to see. But right up here to the northeast, right where County Road 24 makes a big curve to go north, right there is an area of tightening rotation that I'm keeping my eyes on. I don't see if I can switch this out. There we go. It's a little better. I need to do one more thing real quick. I do have one thing not turned on that I need to do. Oh, not that far. Okay, so I just do it that way. Yes, I can. Oh, not 94. No. 10. There we go. That's much better. Someone's zoom way out. So here's our storm down here by Springfield. Here's our storms developing Marshall to Redwood Falls. Got a bigger storm down south by Tracy. What I'm really looking at is this storm up here by Litchfield. You can see the storm back on it. If the radar is drawn, it's got a bit of a turn to it, which is also concerning. Because if supercells turn to the right, usually what that means is they're going to try to become tornadic. We don't want to see that. This is the remnants of our cell that was up in Polk County and western Strengths County. Here's our little cell by people go. It says they think they can, but really can't. And we have some stronger storms up here by Barron, and then we have our stronger cells. One to the northwest of Duluth. That's going to be up north of Grand Lake. Let's put that up right out. Oh, that's going to be just north and east of Auburn, south of Cotton on 53. So between Grand Lake and Cotton, moving out. Eventually it's going to move towards Friedenberg and Rice Lake. And it'll go north of Duluth Superior Metro. It will eventually move out onto the lake. Let's go back to Litchfield here. This is our concerning storm right now. So what I'm looking at is this notch. And let's switch again. Oh, I don't like that. Velocity does not show a strong area of rotation. Storm relative is a mess. So let's go back to reflectivity, boy. Storm really wants to. It's trying, but right now something's keeping it from really spinning, and that's a good thing. We want to keep it that way. Zoom out just a little bit. Frame this up a little. There we go.
New information.
All right.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
That's the update for the Cottonwood County part of that storm. So 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail. Radar indicated on that storm. So we're checking our storm up here by Litchfield. I'm kind of surprised we have not gotten an update from the National Weather Service on this. It's been about 15 minutes now. 16 minutes we've got an update. I'm surprised we haven't gotten one. Expect to see that here pretty soon, if not imminently. I don't know. My other viewpoint up here. There we go. Yeah. Those are way in here. Got a lake that is out of Litchfield. Round Lake. That makes sense. It's round. So Round Lake, northeast view. Up here, what was in that one lake? They filled in over time. But that general area here, south and east of Litchfield, on 12. I mean, this storm is just actually a little bit south of 12 is the worst of it. We can go back into rotation mode real quick. Velocity, I should say. Would you be terribly upset if I did a split view? Good. So I am going to do a split view here. Boo. Let's go that way. There we go. So now I can zoom in. And we can look at the same thing side by side. So here's Litchfield, kind of out of frame, right on the edge of the frame. Do it that way. So that's where 12 comes in, north-south through Litchfield, right on the edge of the frame. And what we're looking at is the area of rotation. If there's any rotation, we'll be just south of it. So we're looking right in this area to the east of Mobile Home Park. So areas around Casey. this is an area I am really watching. I'm hoping I'm watching nothing. That would be ideal if there was nothing happened with this, but I don't know if that's going to be the case, unfortunately. So we're going to keep watching it. So zoom out here, my other feed. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Crow County, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and small hail. The worst reports of tree down in Brainerd itself. Taking a look, Redwood County is now out of the severe thunderstorm warning we're in. Springfield, you're out of the storm as well. That storm has moved quite a bit south and has moved down towards Comfrey and is weakening quite a bit. However, up towards Milroy, over towards Vesta and Seaforth, over towards Redwood Falls, those storms are intensifying, and those storms could actually be something to watch out for here in the next bit. Otherwise, our big story is this storm by Darwin in Dashel. Watching this like a hawk, waiting to see what happens with it. Velocity data, storm relative to velocity data, not terribly convincing on this. And looking at the shape of, for lack of a better term, the dangly appendage back towards Litchfield, kind of hanging back here towards 22, south of Litchfield, that is not nearly as pronounced as it was, which is good. I think we may have had a near miss. Like I said, I think we may have had a very brief touchdown north of Litchfield. That will be something that local EMA and the National Weather Service will look into, and if necessary, they will send a crew out from the National Weather Service to assess what, if anything, happened out there. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. I'm feeling brave. And let's see if we can switch the radar source here. Use my better radar that I like more. There we go. All right. I've got multiple things open now. I'm really confused myself.
Attention, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
There we go. Oh, I know what's going on. I'm like, why is everything so skewed? It's because of which monitor I'm on. Okay, hold on. Let me do this one more time. I apologize. I apologize. You're going to see things go a little wonky here. There we go. That makes a lot more sense now. Stream is set up for 1080p. Everything's set up for 1080p, but I threw it on my 4K monitor and expected it to act like it was on 1080p. Yeah, no. Alright, so here's that finger we were watching. It is currently just east of Litchfield Airport, just to the east of Evergreen Mobile Home Park. And that storm is looking less impressive with each scan. It's still concerning, but boy, it's morphing here. It had a nice right there. You see it kind of come together. You see that appendage. Yeah, this storm's collapsing. This storm is actually starting to fall apart now, thankfully. However, what's that storm that was back there? Yeah, well, the storm that was up here by Sauk Center, just to the south and west of Sauk Center, it may try to respawn and rebuild up here north and east of New London. We have a minute left on our tornado warning here for Dashel, and that is expiring now. I have not seen anything from the service to indicate an update, which does not surprise me given the storm appeared to be weakening. So let's jump to the present moment. There we go. As we do, you can see the storm really start to fall apart there. Okay. I don't know which one was 604. That us? Oh, we're 607. Okay. Sorry. Got County, severe thunderstorm warning now. Oh, I missed that one. 1 inch hail observed. The public reporting quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts 10 miles north of Lastra, or 20 miles northeast of Little Falls, moving southeast at 25. So this is that cell that went through Brainerd. So now we get a warning over here in Morrison County. And I would not be surprised if those of you watching, if you're up here in Black County or Kennebec County, don't be surprised if you see a severe thunderstorm warning as well. The warning was allowed to expire for Meeker County, so we do not have a tornado warning at this time, thankfully. And that storm is quickly losing organization. Brown County, you've been dropped from your severe thunderstorm warning. That storm is rapidly disintegrating as well. Awfully Darfur area, you're going to get some nice rain, but that's about it from that. Another stronger cell over here north and west of Westbrook. Could do something here, but that's going to quickly scoot off into Iowa. Watching the other cell, one I'm really watching the most.
Attention,
It's
a
up
new
here to the
severe
east of
thunderstorm
Marsh
warning
along
has been
19
issued.
and 68, out towards Milroy, Lucan, and Vesta. That storm is starting to look more organized. And then we'll be watching our storm, of course, up here that's moving into Morrison County. Right now, thankfully, we can breathe that sigh of relief that we no longer have a tornado warning on the board. Not surprised that we had one, but I am kind of surprised that we had one. Yeah, we just got these thunderstorm warning. I was wondering about that. Meeker, right, in Cloud counties. I almost spelled it out the way the other service radio does. So that same storm down here north and west of Dassel along Highway 12 is moving more to the south and southeast now. So that's going to pass just to the east of Hutchinson. Eventually, it will. Darwin, you're getting hit right now. That's going to go over 15 there at the curve for it first to go to Dassel. And then eventually, Lansing and Jenny are at the path of this. And eventually, it'll reach over towards Sherman. Kind of eyeballing this. Winstead, I think this cell will go well to your south. Hutchinson, I think it's going to go to your east. I would actually be more looking at Silver Lake to Kaminsky, that area. We have to watch and see where this thing goes. The storm is falling apart, was falling apart somewhat, but now it's starting to reorganize a bit. And I'm thinking we may have just seen a cyclical supercell happen there. And that cell that had fizzled out is now starting to redevelop north of New London, just to the north and east of Belgrade. So I'll have to watch that one. More cells developing now north of Brainerd. The last thing Brainerd needs is more rain. So I'm going to put this in motion just because we haven't done that in a while. So these storms moving mostly off to the southeast. The supercell here takes on more of a southerly turn, because it was moving pretty well due southeast. It's about Brainerd and it turns and starts going south. And that is that southerly turn we talk about with storms getting stronger. 7 cents of an inch hail 5 miles west of my center. So that's what's moving towards you. Up here towards Platt, Harding, over towards Hillman, Anemia, and Violent. You're going to miss this storm. The rest of it's going to go to your north and south. So we've got one cell moving in. And it's strengthening up here north of Garrison. That's over the lake right now. And that's eventually going to move towards Isle and then McGrath and Crochel. Still watching this storm up here is dropping into the eastern parts of Morrison County. And what's going on? Let's have a little look at our data here, I think. Hi. Okay. Yeah, we had a little hiccup with Charter or Spectrum, so hopefully I don't worry if I'm getting enough data. Like, what the heck happened? Alright, so I'm going to peek this storm back down here. Should we do this in motion? We know where it's going. So yeah, Darwin, on towards Jenny, you're going to see the worst of it right now. That storm is moving definitely more to the south-southeast. So based on the And eventually, if it holds together, I would say Glencoe, you want to be watching this storm, and even Biscay, if it decides to drop due south. Biscay, you could be seeing the storm. Hutch, I'm not sold on. I don't think the storm's going to move far enough west to really affect you. I hope I'm right. That's what the radar was telling me, because it's still moving south-southeast. We have to move due south along 15 to really clip Hutchinson. We have no warnings now in south central and southwestern Minnesota. Not surprising, the storm that was down here by Comfrey and Darfur is just a shower. Just a little bit of lightning out here by Milroy. So right now we're going to be watching the area up here by Brainerd, up to the area around Little Falls, up around Lake Mille Lacs. That's going to be our primary watch area, along with the storm down here between Litchfield and Dassel that is doing all kinds of strange things. All right, I need a hydration break. Okay, so what we have. It's thunderstorm warning that's going to be in effect for another 6 minutes for Crow Wing County. That will likely be allowed to expire as the storm is moving into Morrison County Platte. However, Crow Wing County, do not let your guard down. There's another cell moving up north of Brainerd that is starting to intensify. Got a pretty intense core with it, just between this one and Baxter, just to the east of 371 there. That storm could be severe warned as well. The storm's over by Barron, moving toward Ladysmith. Those had a weekend. Our storm up by Duluth this weekend. Our storms up here between Ely, going over with Schrader and Lutsen. Those storms are thunderstorms, but they're not severe. So watch these cells bubbling up over the Iron Range. And especially these cells, more cells starting to develop here. More of the Brainerd up where Pequot Lakes and Emily. So we're really going to have to keep an eye on this. It's quite interesting here what's going on. So our lone cell out here by Litch. Sweet River. Keeping an eye on this little cell up here to the north of Deland and to the west of Cold Spring. So it's going to be just north of Regal, just to the east of Belgrade. That storm is starting to re-intensify, so we're going to have to watch that one pretty close. Other activity down here in Redwood County is subsevere. It could strengthen up, but I would be surprised if it did, because it's still in the same area with that other previous supercell transverse. So not as much storm field to work with, though it does have a nice little notch on it. So I'm going to switch over to Sioux Falls real quick. See if that's pronounced in Sioux Falls. Yeah, it's there. Okay. So watching this little indent right here between Milroy and Lucan. Right on Highway 68 to the west of Lasso, north of Walnut Grove, south of Vesta. So that's an area I'm watching. No warning on that yet. Hopefully there won't be. So there's a thunderstorm warning up here in Meeker, Wright, and McLeod counties. So Dassel, Cokato, Stockholm, over to Winstead, down to Hutchinson. You are in this thunderstorm warning. Radar indicated quarter-sized tail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are the threat with the storm. And taking a look, our other warning would be Crow Wing County down into Morrison County. Again, I will not be surprised if the storm is moving in off of Mille Lacs. It's now moving mostly into Mille Lacs County. I would not be surprised. You can see a warning that runs from Isle to Walk
Attention,
down towards
this flash flood warning has been
with
updated.
this storm. I have to see what the Weather Service Chanhassen does with this. So Morrison, Mille Lacs counties are covered by National Weather Service. Twin Cities, Pine County, AQ County, and Crow Wing County are National Weather Service Duluth. So this is going to be one that just clips into the northwest part of the county warning area. So we've got a flash flood update too. I'm not getting the audio alerts for the. Are you guys getting those? It's kind of odd. It should be ringing them. I'll turn it up just a little bit. Okay. So that's that flash flood warning down here in Sioux Falls. Okay. Wind gauge reporting heavy rain. Okay. Yeah, it's all flash flooding. Sorry about that. Oh, no allergies. Now is not the time. Okay, so there's our storms down in Redwood County. Our storm up here in Meeker County, which, looking at it, there we go. It's going to crash again. Yeah, this storm looks nothing like it did a half an hour ago. This is a serious thunderstorm, but that there's not much else going on here. So all of our little cells are in Stearns County, one over here, just to the north and west of Cold Spring. The one's going to move just to the north of Paynesville. That's not Clip. Also, we're Minnesota 55. Cuts across into oh my God, Kidney, Ohio County, north and west of Paynesville. You're no line for this storm. No lightning in it, no real core, so we're not seeing the redevelopment we thought we might see with this, which is good. And they just updated the severe thunderstorm watch and looking to see who gets dropped to this. Have to wait and see what Chanhassen does with this. So the Threat Protection Center issues the watches. They issue the guidance for what can be cleared, meaning areas if they perceive to be out of the severe weather threat. So that's why I'm waiting to see what counties get dropped here, because that will be up to National Weather Service Duluth and Twin Cities, or Duluth and Twin Cities, yeah. Okay. So sensitive in the hail, report there. So areas north of Harding, right there on the Morrison, Crow County line. That storm is moving to the southeast. That's going to be mostly over rural, northeastern Morrison County. So that's going to pass towards Harding, down toward Hillman, moving to the east of Lastrop. And eventually that will move into Fort Brooks, Wildlife Management area, over into the Roman River Forest. And areas south could even get down to Bach if it holds together. Again, our other cell, nice core just to the northeast of inland. And it's actually going to be almost right over the center of the lake. But to the south, yeah, if you're on the lake, you need to be off the lake. You should have been off the lake half an hour ago at least. McGrath, you've got another nice cell coming at you. A lot of lightning in that one, but not a lot of severe gumption in that particular cell. What's that latest radar scan? There's our storm in Meeker County that is still severe warned. So it's going to pass just to the south and west of Daxel. Eventually to move down towards Silver Lake. Now, absolutely, you're not in the core of this, but depending on how this sort of develops, or undeveloped, I guess I should say, how it develops, you could wind up getting some stronger of this. The core watch is right now right along Highway 15, right where it curves. It's a little jog over to go into Dassel. That area, areas to the east, you'd be watching out for some hail with that as well. There are storms down in Redwood County and over towards Lyon County. And then our cell up here in Morrison County. So right now we do not have any we have just thunderstorm warnings on the board, no tornado warnings on the board. And it would appear that I am having problems with Spectrum again. Oh, goody. Love it when Spectrum decides to make my life hell. Even notifications that YouTube's not getting enough data to stream properly. And not cleared. Again. Okay. There we go. It's hiccups every now and then. You're not even breaking that sweat with this. Cancel. Southeast at 20. so that would take it, yeah, down towards Silver Lake. If somehow this storm was to hold together, it would make it to Plato. But I would be shocked if we're even looking at this storm by the time it gets to Plato. There'll be nothing left. The most activity right now is actually farther north. So we're looking at the area north of Brainerd, up towards Crosby, and then another line. Try to get its act together back, Pequot Lakes back up towards Mission, and up towards Emily, and then right along Cuyuna there. Or not the Cuyuna, sorry. It's not inside the Cuyuna really. From Harding and Platts over towards Vedwan, up towards McGrath. Got 3 supercells right there, right lined up. McGrath, you're about to get into one of them. Wacom and the south shore of Lake Mille Lacs, you're about to get into another one. And then there's the one over here by Harding. Either National Weather Service, Twin Cities may let this warning drop when it expires for Morrison County. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens as these storms move into more of Mille Lacs and back counties. See if National Weather Service Twin Cities issues a warning on those. That's quite the light show over the lake right now. And that lake being Mille Lacs. Let's clarify that as Lake Mille Lacs. So right now we got Twin Cities, not in the severe, well, partially in the severe thunderstorm watch. National Weather Service Twin Cities did a little bit of fun geography with this one. So Chisago County is not in. Identity is Kennebec County, Mille Lacs County, Sherburne, Wright, Scott, Carver, Le Sueur, back to Redwood Falls to Redwood County, back towards Kennedy County, and up towards Todd County. Not the core Twin Cities. Okay, this is the Duluth update. Okay. I'm missing some counties there. Okay, so one thing I don't have up, and I'm going to put this up briefly. I apologize for the clutter on the map, because it will be cluttered. There. Looking at the wind shifts is what I'm looking at here to see where is the front. So, if you notice, definitely behind the front here, we're looking at northwest winds. Dew points drop off quickly to the upper 50s. But if you look farther in here, so Old Lake, front country northwest wind. Ortonville, southwest, but pretty close. If it's not through, it will be very shortly. Morris still has a southwest wind. Madison, southwest wind. Marshall west, that's being influenced by that thunderstorm to the east. So we don't know this yet. And I was wondering if they were going to drop a few counties out here to the west, but no. Not with the front being this close, it's still coming through. So we're going to have to watch this carefully. I thought we might get lucky and this might all start to kind of fall apart. And there's that warning for Beaker County being allowed to expire, so I think they canceled that early. So right now we are down to one warning, and that is our storm up here in Morrison County. Still a bit surprised we haven't seen a warning for northern Mille Lacs County. I think they're going to have to wait until the storm gets to Wacom or Armenia and you actually get some reports. So you can see things over the lake, but you can't really tell what's happening over the lake unless you're on it, which is a whole separate can of worms. So right here, you're getting hit again with another strong storm. Brainerd took damage. So Brainerd is not reporting present weather or visibility. Whoa. Or winds. So they're reporting lightning, distant east and south. Thunderstorm ended at 2 minutes past the hour with thunderstorm in the vicinity. Altimeter 29.92 inches, and that's it. Oof. Yeah, Brainerd took it on the chin there. And Brainerd, you're getting it again. And looking at the storm up here by Pequot Lake, you may get it again and again. Duluth Ocean here. You can see the stronger storm that kind of organized, and then it grew, fell apart, grew again, fell apart. And it's holding itself together. It's going to pass north of the Twin Ports here pretty quick. This cluster here in Morrison County, over back west, going back to McGrath, almost reaching in Pine County now. That cluster of storms is definitely going to have to be watched. If it starts to organize anymore, that will definitely start to spell a damaging wind threat. And that would extend from southern Mille Lacs through Kennebec into southern Pine counties and eventually into western Wisconsin. Man, there's our cell trying to go together here in Cold Spring. I have to watch that one. Storm down here by Dassel is quickly falling apart. A strong cell here by Redwood Falls. Looking in north and east of Marshall. But right now we are down to the one severe thunderstorm warning in Morrison County. We have one flash flood warning out of our area south of Sioux Falls. And it's for areas between Key and Parker in South Dakota. And it's for rain gauge and stream gauge reported flooding. But any of these storms that are stronger are going to have to be watched. And we're not going to be able to just go, oh, okay, we're done. There's enough storm fuel out here. If you look, dew points, the Twin Cities here are 65, 66. Here are a couple of 70s out here, Benson 70, 70 at Madison, 68 at Wilmer. That's more than enough storm fuel. And with this little push here of this cold front, looks like there's another little disturbance, a shortwave up here from Wahpeton back down to Sisseton towards Webster and South Dakota. Those two together could really animate this middle section, which really hasn't done much. If you're in Park Rapids, Pine River, or no, Pine Rapids, Pine River down towards Pequot Lakes down to Brainerd, you're like, we're done, please, make it stop. Well, unfortunately, Brainerd, you've got one more cell behind you towards Pequot Lakes that's moving your way. Nothing behind it at this point, but that doesn't mean anything. Strong cell about to move onshore, where 169 meets Lake Mille Lacs and 27 there. So, I mean, north of Nemea, towards Cove and Bayview, Wacom, and Isle. If you're up there in your cabin, you want to make sure you've got your lawn furniture in, and you're prepared for a strong thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorm warning from Morrison County. That is in effect for another 22 minutes. There was a public reported 1-inch hail with the storm. Our storm over Cold Spring, which so far is looking like just a good heavy shower, a couple lightning strikes in it, south of Cold Spring. And then looking at this activity down here towards Sioux Falls, back out towards Redwood Falls, Marshall, it's in front of the front. I mean, it's not starved of storm fuel, but it's not looking particularly impressive. It's somewhat strung out. It's very linear. And that's really kind of got me going, I don't think. Switch. Okay. Love Blade Hail reports. So if I was just posted a hail report from 2 hours ago. Not helpful. It's helpful to know, but in real time, no. Not right. So, at this point, we have one severe thunderstorm warning, and that is for Morrison County. Let's stay live probably here until about 10 o'clock, watching these storms up in Mille Lacs and going into Kennebec County, and still keeping one eye on the Redwood Falls area, down towards Marshall, mostly Redwood County, back into Lyon County, but not terribly concerned with those. Unless there's a pretty substantial redevelopment, I think we can start tuning out that storm that's currently in the area of Wright County up towards Meeker County and down into Sibley County. That's not Sibley, that's McLeod County. I was looking at Gaylord when I said Sibley, so. I think right now our biggest threats are the possibly this new storm moving over Brainerd. We'll wait and see what Brainerd reports. Man, Brainerd. I think a lightning strike or what happened there, but that's not good. State polls is not helpful. I'm looking at observations. Camp Ripley, 73, dew point 68. Ugh, nice and moist. There's a bit of a gap right in here around Mille Lacs, where there's not as good coverage for observations. I really wish McGrath would report. That would help immensely. But they don't. Zamora, 70, dew point 65. Hinckley, Field of Dreams Airport, 70 degrees, 64 dew point. Yeah, let's see what happened here. So our little cell down here by Cold Spring, it's trying to get its act together. I don't know about the cell south of Cokato. There's very little lightning left in it, or at least there's nothing, no ground strikes happening with this. I'm really kind of starting to write that one off in my head. So here in western Redwood County, trying to get more lightning with it. Same with that cell just at the end of Redwood County from Lyon County, North Milroy, and that will eventually move into the areas around Vesta and Lugan. The whole area just needs to be watched. Strong thunderstorm right now, not severe, just strong, but we've seen how quickly things can change some of these storms. And knowing we do get viewers farther north. Ely,
New information. This
down
severe
high the one,
thunderstorm
just got
warning
updated
has
on
been
the
updated.
thunderstorm warning. Down here. Through thunderstorm over Lastrop, 19 miles east of Little Falls, moving southeast at 25. Harding and Hillman in the path of this, with radar indicated 1 inch hail and 60 mile an hour wind gusts. We've not had a hail confirmed out of this storm here in Morrison County in the last little bit, which is good. I mean, we may be able to let that warning expire to wait and see what the Weather Service says. Again, watching the storm over northern Mille Lacs County, that's really starting to move off the lake now and into land areas in Mille Lacs County. The area up here north and east of McGrath, great light show, but not much else it seems. The cell by McGrath is not fairly well organized. It's kind of stuck with the rest of everything else around it. The storm that is in Morrison County and the storm in northern Mille Lacs, I'm really surprised northern Mille Lacs County has not seen its thunderstorm warning. I'm actually a little surprised at that one. I'm just looking at everything else we have going on in terms of rotation. There's nothing doing, but not surprised. Yeah, nothing. All right. Let's get out of velocity mode. Look at reflectivity. There we go. There's that cell over Brainerd. Unfortunately, Brainerd is not reporting very well at all right now. You can even a little shower just to your west. Pequot Lakes, you've got a cell between you and Breezy Point. Another cell just north and west of Mission. That's got a little lightning in it. A few ground strikes, not a lot of activity there. More activity with the storm in Brainerd, and then the storm that's moving towards Wacom and Isle. That one's actually got a pretty good amount of lightning in it, as does the cell that's just to the east of Highway 27 in McGrath. If you're driving along Highway 18 right now, one, you should not be paying attention to YouTube. You should be concentrating on driving. That is a heavier core with a lot of lightning in it. So that would be something to definitely keep in mind. Let's hear our little cell out here by Cold Spring. It's trying. Same thing with this remnant of the storm south and east of Dassel. That's going to be moving towards Winston, Howard Lake. Not severe. I don't expect it to be severe, but it could happen. Now, we're having no hiccups with spectrum. It's starting to annoy me. Unfortunately, fiber is not an option. Trust me, if it was, I would have already executed that option a long, long time ago. Alright, I need to find power supply. for our device here real quick. There we go. I'm much happier now. We got a couple things going on my desk here where I'm watching other things in real time. And I forgot to plug in one of the devices also, and it's going very, very not happy. Like, oh, where are you below 50% battery? Oh, because I forgot to plug it in on the screen on console. Alright. Here's from Luxembourg to Rockville. You're about to see a thunder shower. Nothing severe with that, just some lightning and some rain. Southwestern Lake County, Kato, Stockholm area, toward Howard Lake. You're getting a good thunder shower right now. Not a lot of lightning reaching ground. Not a lot of ground strikes. Probably some in cloud and cloud lightning going on. Don't know if anybody's hearing thunder up that way. Closest observations are Buffalo and Hutchinson, both of which are not reporting any lightning. So, lightning just southwest and northwest. It would be that one and that one. Okay. Buffalo. Not reporting lightning at all. Glencoe should be reporting lightning north. Not too far away. Maple Lake. Lightning just north, so it's seeing this cell. Okay. I'm not quite sure what's up there. Brainerd. That storm is not moving terribly fast. Wondering how much rain we got in Brainerd. Morgan County, your warning is likely going to be allowed to expire. That storm is nowhere near as intense as it was. Northern Mille County. So areas to the north and east of Onamia, up towards Wacom, Isle, eventually going to move along Highway 27, over toward Route 65. Eventually it will continue over towards Snake River. I'll have to watch this because this storm seems to be trying to do that same little southerly turn here, which makes sense because it's going to try to get into more moisture because the storm off to the west over in Morrison County is not doing a whole lot. This storm can take just raw inflow now, coming up from the areas around Mora and towards Malacca. So this storm could still intensify a bit more than McGrath cell. It's just a prolific lightning producer. Not producing a lot of hail, it looks like. Let me just look at. Yeah, most of the hail report, the biggest hail area really on radar, what the radar is saying is North Bayview, North of Cove. So we're still out over the lake. That's just about to move into the area around Wacom and Isle. Otherwise, it looks like there might be a little hail off to the south and east of Brainerd at the airport. Otherwise, just have a lot of heavy rain. Wet snow. Yeah, it's maybe that time of year where it's cold enough aloft to start seeing some snow flurries mixed in. Alright, so let's look back at our tops. Alright. So looking at this Silver Cold Spring, it's starting to try. It's getting up around 30,000 feet. So that storm's definitely trying. Our storm up here over Brainerd, that storm is up over 50,000 feet. Up around 50,000 feet now, coming in over Wacom. We've got some definite tall, robust thunderstorms moving through the area. Lucid, Wabasso, or Lucan. You've got a strong cell there. Our cell down here that's trying desperately down here. It's looking, it's in this area, it's about 25,000 feet. It's trying, but that's not terribly intense. And I'm actually getting more building up in this storm south of Luxembourg up toward Cold Spring. That storm's up to about 27,000 feet. Starting to get a bit of a straight and eagle shape up here. The storm starting to get that supercell looking that way. Otherwise, strong thunderstorm out here in west central, central Redwood County. Another little cell just about to move out of Redwood County, north of Morgan, south of Franklin. Just a couple of lightning strikes in that one. Another shower to the north and west of Windham. The remnant of the activity down here in southwestern Meeker County starting to smear out. Some showers into the area around Winstead, out towards Highway 7 in McLeod County. Cold Spring storm starting to get some more lightning and it's starting to intensify a bit just south of Rockville. Rockville, you're going to miss it. It's going to stay south of the bypass for the most part. But given the trajectory this storm is on, St. Cloud, you're going to miss it. You've really got nothing upstream of you. If the storm holds together from Cold Spring and eventually move down towards Annandale, if it can hold it together, Maple Lake and then Buffalo would be in the path. It's going to kind of follow Highway 55 from Annandale down towards the cities. Severe thunderstorm warning expires in 8 minutes for Morrison County. Yeah, they're going to let that warning expire at 10 o'clock. So we can blow through the limits. We have a special here for the storm in northern Mille Lacs. Kind of surprised there. But seeing as we have one expiring severe thunderstorm warning on the board, and that's it. Well, actually, yeah, the automated ticker already knows it's gone, so it's already waved it. We're going to probably wrap this up right about 10 o'clock. We're going to watch this activity for a few more minutes up here in northern Mille Lacs County. And still keeping an eye on that cell up here north of Brainerd, which does not look as healthy as it did a little bit ago. Let's switch radar sites. And there's that cell in Brainerd. Put that in motion. And there it is. And there's the next one. You kind of got to look farther back. That was all I had. You can turn on this one, right about this one. There's that new one. Yeah, I'd still do southwestern crowing. And then to northeastern Morrison County, I would definitely be keeping an eye on these storms that are moving into your area. Definitely be watching the storm down here. The east of Amamia, between 169 and Isle along 27 there, that's an intense storm. Otherwise, our cell down here by Cocato and Winstead, that has completely collapsed at this point. Just some light rain with that. Our Barron storm has kept us somewhat together. It's now almost over to Ladysmith. That is just a very, very thunderstorm at this point. Same thing with this big thunderstorm down here by Wabasso. Just a good solid thunderstorm, but that's it. And we are remnants down here with Glencoe. The cell here in Luxembourg still trying to strengthen. Still, I don't think this cell up here by Brainerd, I don't think it's going to do much more. I think if anything, it's going to start turning downward. So it's the cell just to the southeast of Aiken, though. That would need to be watched, as does the storm down here by Isle. But the area on the south shore of Lake Mille Lacs, along 27, I'm really a bit surprised we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. I really am. I would love to know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that storm's definitely got oomph behind it. Same with the storm down here to the west of Wabasso. A lot of moisture in those two storms. The others, not so much. I mean, you've got a pretty good storm down up here by Cold Spring. The remnants of the storm down here in Wright County barely show up. And then you got the salt here by Mission, the one over Brainerd, the one in Morrison County, which is no longer severe warned. And then the cells over here by McGrath. But the two big ones are the one at Whatcom and the one down here by Obata. That's the two biggest threats right now. Keep an eye on that storm back in spring. It could still do something. Looking at velocity data, broad mesoscale rotation for the storm back last, so nothing to worry about there. Absolutely no sign of rotation or organization. That storm up by Cold Spring. Same thing. Looking, that's a messy storm up here by Wacona Isle. So right now, in terms of velocity, nothing stands out and says, uh-oh, we need to look at this. Speaking of uh-ohs, we just lost the radar again. Yep. Okay. Oh, otherwise, everything's so tired of you. Okay, let's go back to standard vehicle activity. Yeah, that's still, it's starting to fizzle actually by St. Cloud. Okay. See, it tries and it just doesn't. It doesn't quite completely do it, so. Okay. Now, Morrison County, the storm that's currently over you is nothing really to be too concerned with. The next salt's coming down from the Leonard area and move into that same warned area that was warned. So areas to the east of Peters and Platte and north of Morrill and Morrison County, you've got a stronger cell coming at you, but even that storm is starting to weaken some. It could get severe warned. I mean, it's still holding itself together pretty well. That was. And there's still yet another storm lined up back there, just over Brainerd. Right now, the most concerning looking storm to me is the storm down here by Isle. Cold Spring, that's cute. There's the remnants of our storms in Meeker County and Wright County. And then this cluster out here by Wabasso and Lucan, that storm has not really moved much. You see it develop out here. We'll use that sky over here as our marker. See, the area right there between Milroy and Wabasso on Minnesota 68, they're getting a lot of rain out of this. Because especially there, Lucan to Wabasso, they're just getting swamped. And that's an area that could use it, but not that much that fast. You know, most of the area along the Minnesota River Valley into southeastern Minnesota is not in drought conditions. They've gotten enough rain and enough storms often enough to really not be too far off normal. Once you go east of the Mississippi River up into the Arrowhead and north central Minnesota, and then along the Dakota border, you get into moderate to severe drought. There's actually a couple pockets of severe drought in northern Wisconsin as well, near Phillips. So pretty much from Phillips over towards Rhinelander, and then, boy, what is that like the phone? What is that? Oh, there's just an observation point. I don't know what it is. Mandatory waters, there we go. Up to Mercer to Park Falls, Sawyer County Forest, even down towards Ladysmith, Rid Lake, and Tomahawk. That whole area right in there is in a severe drought. And unfortunately, that is also the Chippewa, the Nicolay, Chequamegon National Forest, which extreme drought, severe drought, and forest just don't mix. As the good people up around Ely and up in Grand Rapids can tell you on the Gunflint. Yeah. All right. It is now 10 o'clock. You are still watching Black Sheep Weather. Me, meteorologist John Lamb. severe. Got a cell around Cold Spring and Rockville, actually Rockville down towards Luxembourg, they're just trying to organize, but have not successfully done so yet. The remnants of a severe storm now over northeastern and east central Morrison County. A strong storm coming off of Lake Mille Lacs that has now moved on shore to walk on the Isle. And eventually that's going to move down. Boy, that's going to move down towards Mora and Brook Park and Quamba. So that'd be around 23 there. And if it holds together, eventually we make it towards Pine City and Rock Creek. Not sure that storm will hold together that long. The other cell that was up to the west, or to the east rather, of Marshall McGrath, holy cow. East of McGrath has moved over towards Finlayson and Asco. That storm is weakening. The other cell on 27, it looks like that may be trying to get merged in with this bigger cell here. And I think that bigger cell is really starting to rob our storm out here in Morrison County. Storm will be Brainerd. That storm still there. I mean, it's not terrible. Oof. Yeah, Brainerd Airport took a hit. I don't know how severe it is, but Brainerd Airport is no longer reporting temperature, visibility, much of anything. They're even reporting winds. So yeah, all present weather stuff is down. It's not reporting sea level pressure, so no barometer. It's only reporting the temperature, and it's reporting. I guess it's reporting weather. It's reporting thunderstorm. But that's it. So it's not even going to be able to tell you if it's raining or not. Holy cow. Yeah, lightning is in southeast southwest, so it's in this storm and this storm. Yeah. But given the general trend of this activity up here to the north of around Mille Lacs, with that starting to look like it's on a downward trend, the one cell down here by Cold Spring is not dissipating, but it's not strengthening either. Just noticed this cell's popped up here in northern Brown County. Where did you come from? Oh, you broke off. Okay. Well, the stronger storm now, far northeast, northwestern Brown County. That's going to move into Nicollet County here pretty quick. So, here between Sleepy Heights and Fairfax, you're going to see a storm come through. Nothing severe, but a storm nonetheless. The strongest cell is actually out here north and west of Springfield. I was looking to see for it towards Wanda. You guys have been in this area for a while now. Milroy, you've seen a couple of storms, but this area, yeah, Waubasa, Lucan, right in here on 68, has just been getting pounded. But at this point, we're going to call it a night as there are no warnings, and none of the storms look like they are likely to be severe warned here in the next bit. We will always have our severe weather coverage on the socials. You'll see those come through in near real time. I've been very, very pleased with how quickly those alerts come through. So if anything does get severe warned, you will see it there. It'll be on all of our socials at once. Otherwise, I will do an update here in the morning with what's going on. There's another chance of storms tomorrow night with another disturbance that's going to come through. And beyond that, chances of rain are there, but it's going to be a real crapshoot in terms of when it will happen. It's going to be weak disturbances moving through a northwesterly flow. They're really hard to predict beyond 48 hours, so trying to nail down exactly who and where and when is, yeah, it's a fantasy game of 48 hours. It really, truly is. I'm not going to lie. So we will be looking at that. Otherwise, next week, if we wind up with more storms, it's going to be cooler like it has been this week. Otherwise, we could warm right back up into the 90s again, or at least make a run for 90 for the next week. So we'll have to see what happens. But I am meteorologist John Lynn. You've been watching Black Sheep Weather's live coverage of severe storms here in Minnesota.